I had to come home because I'm so interested in what you were doing.
Well, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a lot of stuff to do, that's for sure,
Yeah.
with all this stuff happening.
That's right.
I think our usual people are all here.
Okay, so we'll start. So the first thing is note taker, vibes watcher, and timekeeper. We don't have any more note takers. I mean, Shiley is not, she's finished, so we need someone from Disarm to do it. A note taker, vibes watcher, and timekeeper.
I warned you all that the note taking was coming back. We're going to do some random pointing at the screen.
That's what
Fine.
you should do that.
Carol, before you do that, let me tell you, I have officially many diagnoses, but one of them is the euphemism low vision. I barely can see the screen. I cannot read on paper almost at all, and I have a hard time reading on a computer screen. So I would love to offer many things, but if it involves vision, I cannot do so anymore, for which I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll exempt you, there's plenty of other input you can give.
Well, my lack of offer does not mean lack of desire. It simply means lack of ability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So nobody's willing to put their hand up right now for note taking.
And while other people are thinking, I wrote in the chat that I'm going to have to leave the meeting early, so will not take any of the jobs.
What about if we split it and you could do the
Yeah,
first
that
half
would
and
be
I'll do the
good.
second half or something like that? We could split it, Joan.
Does the committee routinely put transcriptions on, so at least the machine?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so that at least provides something good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll do half with someone.
All right, so Joan, can you do an early section and Odile will do the latter?
I'm not understanding what you're saying, and I don't know how soon I'm going to have to leave. I don't think I should take any responsibility. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, how about Odile and then Gloria?
Okay.
One part and part.
I'll probably be presenting while I'm supposed to be taking notes, but
Well, it's all being recorded.
okay.
And the AI is on, so you'll get those notes too.
So you said Odile and then?
And then Gloria will be note takers.
Or maybe let the two of them figure it out afterwards of where one starts and one stops. That might be easiest.
So we still need a timekeeper and a vibes watcher.
Come on, Alan, you could be vibe watcher.
Who?
I'll be happy to be
Alan?
watcher.
All right,
Okay, Alan, you'd be a great vibes watcher.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, great. We need a timekeeper. Although all the person needs to say is when the time's up time, so we can know we should finish. And I'm not good at doing that and following along, so.
Well, maybe Cheryl will have to be.
Yeah. How about Joan, could you be a timekeeper till you leave and then somebody else will take over?
Who? You don't? Joan?
Joan Goddard will be timekeeper till she leaves. If any time you leave, that's fine, Joan. At least we have somebody starting. So how about that? Is that okay?
Okay, if that really is all we can do.
I said I would do it.
I'm looking for my agenda.
Peggy? Did Peggy offer?
Yes,
Yeah,
Peggy
I'll
offered.
I need to find a copy of the agenda. Okay.
Peggy, all right. Well,
Great.
thank you, everybody.
Okay, so that was any revisions to the agenda? We'll just go, and if you want to add something at the end, if something comes up, that's great. Okay, so we don't have any brand new people. That's sad, but it'd be great if we did. But we're going to go ahead and approve the minutes of November 30th and December 14th.
And
Were there any?
yes, there was one change that Gloria requested, which I have made about, I don't know why, but Shiley heard her talk about fundraising. Maybe she was raising fun. I don't know. So
No.
Which set of minutes? Which set of minutes?
I have changed. That was the December the 14th minutes.
Yeah, well, what that was about was the Jane Addams virtual branch talk I'm going to be giving on hyperlocal news, and
Which is
she's
coming
got inform and fundraising. I'm not doing any fundraising for them. They have plenty of money as far as I can see.
Anyway, I made that correction. Nobody else submitted anything for November the 30th or December the 14th. So I'd like to hear that they can be approved.
If there are no changes, they are stand as last distributed. So I think that's the way it is. No changes.
There's one change, right?
Yes,
No, it's already done. It's the one as last
Yes, I have not actually distributed the R1 version, but I will.
That's true. Okay, so I shouldn't say as distributed, as the latest version. How about that?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is. The latest version as approved. Okay, so we'll get into hot topics. Gaza, Israel, ceasefire in place, but Israel continues to bomb. 400 Palestinians killed since October 10th. So, and then this webinar with Phyllis Bennis and Richard Falk.
Yeah,
Joe gave
I
the link.
gave you the registration link there. I recommend it to you. We know that Phyllis Bennis is very well informed.
What day is that?
Wednesday the 13th.
If you look in the agenda, it's all there.
Yeah, but it's not in front of me.
Okay. But anyway, so usually Odile has something to say. I think you're all reading the newspapers.
Well, it's just disgusting. And the one thing is, I just saw last night a huge demonstration in Israel.
Sorry, Odile, you're on my computer, you're cutting in and out. Say that again.
I saw a huge demonstration in Israel last night.
Okay.
Huge.
For against what?
For Gaza.
For Gaza?
For
Good.
peace. They are tired of war. They want peace.
I hope so.
Do you remember what city in Israel the demonstration was?
I think it was Tel Aviv. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really know, actually.
Well, that's all right. I can look it up.
Yes,
Thank you.
I haven't
It
had
could have
time.
been Jerusalem. I don't know.
Okay.
It's only two cities, Jerusalem or
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv. So
The point is that there's this plan, that there's this thing called the Board of Peace that has been suggested would run Gaza, and Trump was going to appoint people to it.
Ugh.
And he's choosing some people. You really have to look at your own newspapers, your favorite media outlet, to see what's going on. But the fact is that even though there's a ceasefire, supposedly,
they're killing
people in Gaza are still being bombed and what have you.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Israel will say, well, there was a missile that came out of that part of Gaza, which we presume Hamas sent. So, they always have to return 10 times worse than what they got.
Hamas said they're really going to not be an organization anymore.
Is that part of the ceasefire deal?
I just heard that today, but I don't know that much about it.
Mm-hmm.
That was contingent on the appointment of a Palestinian technical group to administer Gaza.
Sorry,
When the Palestinian group would be appointed, which is part of the plan, then Hamas would disappear itself as an organization.
yes,
That's what I heard today.
all right. So okay,
But that technical group has not been appointed, and there doesn't seem to be any agreement about who it is. But Trump has been saying he's about to appoint the peace
Board of Peace.
group to oversee it all.
Right. So but what can we do about it? All right, it's not going very well.
Well, I was going to write a letter to the State Department, and I completely didn't do what I was supposed to do. For one thing, I have kind of a mental block against doing it. But I took a list of all the organizations they banned from Israel, and it's on my Google documents. And it's a huge list, including Physicians Beyond Borders and everything, it's a huge list.
Right.
And
right.
that's what I was going to write the letter mostly about it, that it's totally disgusting to ban all those organizations that are so needed. And what are they going to do to kill the last Palestinian in Gaza?
Yeah.
Right. So these are organizations that have been doing the aid
Yeah,
for the last 3 or 4 years. And
yeah.
what was the argument? I don't even remember reading what the
Oh,
argument.
that they could be infiltrated by Hamas or giving
yeah.
money to Hamas. They use that to bomb hospitals, they use that to bomb schools, they use that argument over and over again. We are sick about it.
Yeah. Well, there is see the agenda about the session on Wednesday. It's a few days away, but coming up, there's
So maybe they will.
webinar. Maybe there'll be some news, and we're on the time for this.
Oh, the actions we can do. Okay. So
Okay, we've only got 8
right.
more minutes for hot topics.
All right, so let's move then to the Ukraine-Russia war. And again, there was supposed to be a ceasefire. There was supposed to be people working on diplomatic solutions. And instead, what you see is Russia bombing Ukraine every night. And they're even using this new ballistic missile into quite far into the west of Ukraine. Again, killing people.
But the capital was bombarded like hell.
Right, and then even further west, some other
Okay.
cities. And the analysis that I read was Russia was upset because they said they did not like the fact that the US had attacked Venezuela and kidnapped the president, which a lot of countries have said. And
But that has nothing to do with Ukraine.
yeah, it has, but it puts Putin in a bad mood. And he was, he's being, the issue of sanctions, extra sanctions have been suggested. Anyway, so, a few weeks ago, it looked more hopeful. There was more, Zelensky was, having people talk to some Russians, and there were some sticking points in the agreement. And the sticking points are mostly, I believe, to do with territory. Is Russia going to get part of the Donbass? Things like that. And they have not been able to work that out. And so what we have to do, if we're to do anything about it, is to encourage the diplomatic approach. One problem is that our supposed diplomats are cronies of the president, our president. They really don't know much about diplomacy. They're business people. All they know is how to make deals, which is different from making compromises and approaches to negotiating an end to a war. So we are suffering, I believe, from a lack of skill and knowledge on some Americans' part, American supposed diplomats. Okay, that's I think part of the problem. And then, of course, because our president goes off and does these other things that most of the world has condemned, his actions against Venezuela.
But we haven't had sanctions.
Say that again, Gloria.
Need sanctions on the U.S. That it's parallel.
Right, so we can talk about that in your section, whether
Okay.
that's a good idea to suggest it. Anyway, so again, it's a question of, in this case, you're writing to the White House to say, you've got to try and help with this diplomacy. There were talks going on in Qatar, and yet it was the Qatar embassy in Kiev that got bombed the other night. All right. So the Russians know exactly where their missiles are going. Okay. So that's, one might say, a significant thing that happened, that the Qatar embassy, it wasn't there that the talks were going on. They were going on in Qatar, but it's a symbolic snub, so to speak, that their embassy got bombed. Yes, I see, Peggy, you've put your hand
Well,
up.
I
Please
just
say
was going
something.
to comment that the stock market keeps going up as the more weapons and more war and the prospects of investment in Ukraine go on. That's what I see, and I'm quite personally pretty hopeless about Ukraine now. But
Well,
Yeah, and I want to raise my hand here.
Alan had his hand up.
Okay.
Come closer to your microphone, please, Alan. I have a hard time understanding you.
Sometimes I'm not sure what I'm saying. This question is, I think Will should put out that it should be a plebiscite among the people, and there should be a search for such international observers that could actually run a fair election over time in the disputed areas of Odessa and the eastern provinces.
I like that.
I think putting it to the people and self-determination is the best principle we can put forward to the extent anyone is going to listen to us. And it should be the people that somehow figure out how to decide what they want to be associated with and what kind of local autonomy they want to set up so that people can recognize their own sovereignty and identity and multiple identities.
I like that as a concrete, positive proposal coming from Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. Are you willing, Alan, to put that into a form that we could collectively claim and
you collectively claim it. Didn't AI just capture it?
what?
Say that again.
He said
Did AI
deemed.
just capture the particular words I said?
Well, the way you just put it was pretty cool. Would you? I don't know how long.
I'd be glad to write a simple
Writing the
sentence.
notes so I can try to write it down.
So,
But I
and-
think the transcript may have already captured it, I think is what Alan is saying.
Well, I hope so. In case it doesn't, I'm writing it down.
Okay, great.
So
Where
could
does,
we resolve to, at the next meeting, do something with that statement?
let's try to do it before that, but
Yeah.
where does international WILP fit into this?
They, I would have to go back and look at their website. They obviously just issued a statement
Good
on the
point,
Venezuela
Joan.
situation, and I'm sure they have previous statements on Ukraine.
But
We should ask them.
are they
to
doing something-
adopt that view?
right, what are they doing currently? And Alan's probably saying that's what we should check. Yeah.
Right, but we don't have to wait for them.
No.
No, but we could let them know that we're doing it and say, got any comments? If not, we're moving forward. We'll give you
And
48 hours and then,
or are you also doing this?
yeah. Just give them a short timeline.
Right. If
They can
anybody,
understand
In my
that.
hand as the note keeper. Remember, you have to respect the note keeper because she's trying to get this that's going to go in the records. Could I read what Alan said as close as I got it? Will you let me read it?
yes,
Okay, so Alan proposes that they in the Ukraine have a plebiscite so their own people can decide their own future. He wants an international observer corps to come and oversee the plebiscite, where the Ukrainians determine their own status, level of autonomy, and was there anything else?
Future.
I said future twice already.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a nice sort of closing.
I
Yeah.
heard him speak about local autonomy.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Joan.
Yep. So is that okay then? Or any additions to that? Something else
right,
they
we
should
need, I think it needs to be expanded a bit, but there have been,
Alan could write something.
yeah, there have
Send a
been,
draft. Send a draft.
do?
there have been, many webinars about the Ukraine-Russia war. And
Yeah.
Well,
So-
we ourselves worked very hard on a statement that never made it anywhere, but we worked
Well,
on it.
Yeah.
we have the detente statement, which essentially is issue of trust. It really comes down to, we don't, the Europeans don't trust the Russians and the Russians don't trust the Europeans. And so people are stuck at that point.
Yeah, so I think it's cool. We did our best before Trump was elected. We submitted something and we sent it to everybody, and I think it's fine. A year later, our male participant makes a suggestion, and we say, yeah, let's go with that and put it out.
So certainly referring to our previous statements, one was a memo to President Trump and one is just a general statement of the current, where we were trying to suggest some other organizations that would help with the negotiations. We've suggested some Asian organizations, but anyway,
I think that's an important point. May I just say, interpolate a little bit. Ellen is not here, Ellen Mass. She's the one who's really been running her wheels on this statement. And it turned out that the OSCE, I think that's the correct answer.
yeah, we did not.
Well, could I finish my sentence?
We
They
did.
were not as neutral as they had initially
Right. So we
seemed.
chose some other ones. And
So
that's
we
what,
evolved, and the statement had to keep evolving in terms of who we could trust, who might be able to do it.
right.
Oh, I'm done. Sorry.
That's fine, but Alan has got a
I don't
completely
think we
different
should
idea.
specify who should oversee the plebiscite.
No,
I think putting on the table that the old Women's International League for Peace and Freedom Committee on Ending Wars proposes that there should be a plebiscite and international observers. I think that hasn't been, but people haven't been saying that. That's just a general
Right.
approach. It's neutral, and it's
Yep.
it purports to break the ice, and it's something.
Right. So,
Yeah, Joan is right. Let's decide on something and move on.
right. And please, let's do this by email. We don't,
Okay.
right. So thank you very much, Alan. Let's try to do that. I think that's a good idea.
Okay,
right.
so the next item is diffuse nuclear war. Although Venezuela, I don't know that it should be under this particularly. I almost think that we need a new
I know.
item,
Well,
which is taking over other countries or country
Yeah,
sovereign or
right.
something like that.
I used this, section to
Right.
squeeze this in as a new issue. And you'll see the statement, the Burge statement that we created, that we got out really fast. And I'm hoping that you are using it. I asked him to make sure it was a PDF. So you can go find the PDF. It's there in the agenda to take it and send it to your networks. Use it to write to your senators especially. So there's this issue of the War Powers Resolution, right? This is a resolution that says President Trump is forbidden to do any further attacking of Venezuela or taking it over in any way without the permission of Congress. And this, of course, could be applied to all kinds of things he wants to take over, right? So he's talking about, oh yeah, I want Greenland and so on and so forth. So this is a general problem that we have. And I don't know, but apparently the resolution was discharged, right? So there's this question of discharging you. You've been in committee, a resolution's been proposed in a committee, and then it's sent out to the Senate as a whole to vote on. They haven't voted on it yet. The fact it actually got out of a committee onto the floor is a progress, because 5 Republicans voted for it to be discharged, is the name of the process that's going on. And so this coming week, I believe the Senate is going to be asked to vote on this. Okay. And this is where those of you who have Republican senators need to be phoning them up using.
Oh, the Democrats are not much better.
Right, but they will vote for it. They will vote for this resolution. We know
But
that.
Fetterman, is anybody from Pennsylvania? Fetterman needs to be contacted.
Right.
Well, we should all make one more stab.
There were five Republicans who voted for it to be discharged. We're hoping that the same 5 will vote for the actual resolution. It is a simple majority. It's not one of these 60-40 businesses. So it's there's a good chance it will be passed, is what I'm hearing. But many of us here are have Democratic, Democratic senators. So this is one of the things that we can be doing. And it seems like this the woman was vice president has been sworn in as their new president of Venezuela. I heard about her PR report. She's a lawyer. She comes from a long line of father was killed when she was 10 in some political way, and so she's always been trying to keep the sovereignty of Venezuela. So, but she sounded like she was saying she was doing this to a US, and then she sounded more conciliatory. Okay, so you've got a very strange situation here.
Who are you speaking to about?
I'm talking about the new president of Venezuela. The woman who was vice president has now been sworn in as president. Okay, and she is running the country.
Really?
Her name is Rodriguez.
Well, we arrested the president. That's why
Yes.
she came up. She stood
Right.
up to take over.
But then, so then Trump says, "Oh, we're going to run the country," and then she says, "No, we're running the country." It's one of those situations where it's not clear what's going to happen. Okay. And so,
Only if you don't follow what's been going on in Venezuela the
Right,
last 5 years. I was there for the commemoration in 23.
mhm.
With my roommate was a very top leader with International Lawyers Guild. Anyway, she's written some beautiful things lately. If you don't follow, then of course you don't know Delcy Rodriguez and how she's been behind the regime. You don't know what kind of things Venezuela's been doing. It's not a rogue state. You're right about not knowing the future because he's not predictable. And so, yes, of course, we don't know.
You pointed us, Ellen, to a massive, well, a large demonstration by women in Caracas saying,
Yes, women, and then there was one with youth. No, the majority of the people are struggling people. But when I was there, they have huge neighborhoods with very wealthy neighborhoods of people. In fact, somebody in my Spanish class is one of those that all she could talk about is how he tortures people. So, you really do have, like many Latin American countries, you have a large group of very wealthy people that want their wealth back, and they don't want to feel that they're doing any welfare work. So that's just the state of the world. I think we have to admit that the world is like this, and it's a battle.
Mhm.
But yes, we don't know, but I think it's worth, if people will just read the subtitles of these other programs, you could keep up a lot more with what's going on. And there are only 4 clicks to get to it. So I just keep recommending that people go through those 4 clicks and you can get the subtitles. The subtitles used to be terrible, but now they're very good in most channels. So
In
you can
where?
read what other countries, nations, regions of the world are saying, and it's very often very different than what we say here, even with our progressive media. So that's my big thing, is not to listen just to somebody persuading you, but to do it yourself, because we have the ability. We have the
But-
YouTube hasn't been censored. It's still on there. WILF has a wonderful YouTube station. Anyway,
yes,
that's enough. But thank you for bringing it up. And it's so important, because if he does it there, then now I'm so worried about Mexico, because I'm writing about Mexico. Want
Mhm.
everybody to come to my little presentation coming up.
So
I would be, I would like to work with 1 or 2 other people on a statement for to come from WILF that connects the use of U.S. dollars to fund military interventions which are illegal. The ones that have been done in Venezuela was illegal, and actions on, I think the wording would be something about the use of the illegal use of U.S. military forces in our cities and cities in other countries.
right, this is the wider topic, which we should be paying
Yeah,
attention.
it's larger, and I think this whole thing about spheres of influence. I think we're in a change point, and there are positive opportunities to come from this crisis. We could ask for something to go into the new U.S. Mexico Canada agreement. There are just a lot of things to think about, but I don't think we can I certainly can't during this meeting, but I would like to work with at least 1 or 2 other members of WILF on developing something.
Yes, well, thank you, Peggy. Let's see if anybody else wants to help you. It's if you read the WILF International statement on Venezuela, I think they take this, anti-militarism in general
Yeah.
point of view. And then you've got Trump saying, oh, instead of a $1 trillion budget for the military, I'm going to make it $1.5 trillion. I mean, this is just, you know,
And then
controlling.
doing the same thing with the Homeland Security. It's all of a piece. But we've never before really been able to see the same thing happening in our own cities that our military has been used to do in other people's cities. This
Well,
is
the latest statement, ICE Out, was one of the best statements I think WILF has ever made. It just
Yeah.
came out. And that covers that completely. It's all about going into our cities. Did everybody read that? The
You
WILF?
talk about the e-alert
Yes, the e-alert ICE
that
statement.
asked us to go and demonstrate. There were demonstrations all over the country.
But that also had a beautiful statement, WILF statement there. It wasn't just a flyer to go and protest.
Well, I guess I haven't seen that. I would like to see the two, domestic and foreign, linked, because
Well,
that's what
they
fascism.
are. I'll look for it. I know.
There was a e-alert that came out very recently. Would you look for it, Ellen, while the rest of us?
Yeah. Okay. All right. I will.
You really do need to look in your email about when things come out from our central headquarters. You need to be reading those. And, you know, if it means you have to ignore something else, ignore something else. Because this is what is happening with ICE and the way they are treating people. And, my branch, every Friday from noon to 1, we're on a corner in Palo Alto with signs about whatever's going on. We were joined 2 days ago. Indivisible asked people to go out. We had 50 people. Okay, most of them with photographs of Nicole Good complaining that she'd been murdered, okay, by ICE. So this particular topic has really got people upset. And so, and then yesterday we were asked to be out again. And I understand from the Women's March, there was lots of people. I don't know how many of you, I get the Women's March stuff, and they have literally millions of people on their email lists, and they get people out. Okay. So, Peggy, trying to bring this all together, it's something that other people are already doing. Roots Action has petitions. I mean, I get all kinds of things that bring these to, but Peggy, if you want to start a one from a feminist women's point of view, that would be good.
Okay. Anybody else want? Oh, Alan has his hand up.
Alan, yeah.
You know, I would be glad to help work on those words. And I think this murder of Renee Good, the renewal of good, whatever her name actually means, it is so deep and symbolic. What happened to this person, and I think she's going to be a cauldron out of which a lot of compassion and action flow, sadly so. But I wanted to speak back to Venezuela. While militarizing the world is the Trump program, I think what he did in Venezuela is a very specific illegal action contrary to international law. The murder of 30-some Cubans and 20 or more some Venezuelans is an outright murder. The use of military forces to enforce a civilian civil indictment is, I think, contrary also to the Commentators Act. There's a lot of illegal stuff And our job as an international organization or a local branch should be to call for sanctions against Trump and his government that did this, and the United States in such ways as that could be properly done. To the International Court of Justice, there should be a complaint. To the United Nations, we should join in a complaint that remains on the docket for debate, and specifically economic sanctions, that whatever countries can do to enforce international law, this is the form that is being used. And
That we make,
Okay.
that we call for a BDS, as it's called, or sanctions against the US. And Alan is pointing out this is something, I do believe that the Security Council had some statement, and the General Assembly, did they not have a statement regarding the attack of and the abduction of Maduro?
Yeah, they did.
Right. So
Cheryl, when you say BDS, are you talking about
well, there's boycott,
boycott, divest, sanctions?
and
Yeah.
sanctions. That's one a triple thing one could suggest, but sanctions is what Gloria was concentrating on in some of her emails to us.
Okay.
But it's, how I don't see how the issue is who runs that, and I don't understand enough about the processes that are necessary to bring in sanctions. It involves banks and financing and what have you. Alan, you suggested the International Court of Justice be involved, right, Alan?
yes.
Yes. Anyway, so we need, Peggy and Alan, maybe you could look into this. So
BDS is not new. I mean,
no,
Right. There are almost millions of people working on this. So the question is if there's something that we should do maybe to communicate with other groups, but we have lots and lots of emails coming to us about what everybody's working on. So there's a lot,
yes, we're not alone.
we should do something, but
I
not
think
like
that
we're the
should
only
be part
ones.
of what we do. Yeah, finding out what others are doing.
yeah, maybe
And
we could find
also,
out who's doing
who
the
will promote
BDS.
legislation.
No,
I think that my feeling about BDS is raising the fact that other countries are likely to call for BDS against us.
Right.
I don't think it's kind of hard for us to call it on ourselves. But I don't know, once the people in Israel did end up supporting the BDS against their own country. So, it's something we can think about.
We
Okay,
have
well-
companies that are invested in things that we don't think that they should be invested in.
Right. That's
Boycott,
yeah.
divest. I mean, we've been doing it for several decades, and for certain companies, I would think we could find out more information maybe about somebody who's doing it contemporaneously and take some chapters from their book.
Yeah.
Okay. I think using international organizations like the UN is probably one way forward. We know that the Security Council, anything that comes up to them is vetoed by the US. So it has to be a General Assembly kind of thing. So anyway, I think we've spent
Time to move.
sufficient time on this, and I'm depending on Peggy and Alan to start off with some statement for us to send it out for us to look at. Okay. I will remind you all that I have a big operation tomorrow morning. Okay. And my daughter is here from France to help me the next week. And so I'm not going to be doing too much. I'm going to be sitting around and what have you. So I'm depending on the rest of you to get going on some of this. Okay. So I'm not you know, in as good shape as usual for helping you all get moving on this. Okay. So I think we can go to section 5, Diane.
I just wanted to say that since diffuse nuclear war was the title of this,
Yeah.
I noticed that Margaret Pecoraro and Joan were on the webinar yesterday with Ira Elfhand. And he was talking about how horrible nuclear bombs, the danger that any number can do, and the necessity of New Start and other things. He was speaking mostly to Rotarians, but I was glad to see them there on the call.
So this was a Rotarian.
It was, but it was,
I missed
for anybody. Yeah.
I'm
There weren't that
taking
many
notes
people.
here and I'm getting confused because I don't know if you're going back to the nuclear thing or if you're actually on
I'm just
point
adding this
5A.
because this is nuclear war, and that was what the topic was yesterday on the webinar with Ira
So-
Health.
So this is part of 5A.
This is 4C.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, so
throw
not
that in before
5A.
we left.
Well, Cheryl announced we were moving to 5A, so I'm
And I
confused.
am, but I just wanted to make that announcement, but before we do.
Okay.
So now we're on to campaign reports. And so current campaigns continue to press for disarmament. And you're saying plan for your event on 5th anniversary of the TPNW on the 22nd of January.
right. So we have been talking about this, and there is ICANN there has a toolkit and suggestions, and we have Warheads to Windmills has designed us a new banner, right, that celebrates that it's 5 years. They had a banner that we just celebrated the entry into force, but it's now 5 years since it entered into force, and we have over 90 countries that have ratified the TPNW, that they will have nothing more to do with nuclear weapons. So it's a celebration, because this is progress on getting rid of nuclear weapons altogether. The more countries we can get to ratify it. So the design, in order to get a banner made for your branch or your town, you need the JPEG that is about 14 or 10 megabytes big. Okay, so because it's so large, I'm not sending it just to everybody. So if you think you'd like to have a banner made, a 6-foot wide banner to be used in January and in the future about TPNW, you should let me know, and I will send you this 10 megabyte JPEG, which you then send to your banner making organization. And this is it needs to be 10 megabytes, so when it's blown up, it doesn't pixelate. Okay, so you could write to me. You all know my address.
Banner for what? I was typing to Joan about the notes.
It's a banner that celebrates the fact that the TPNW has been in force for
Now for
years,
5 years.
and that more countries should sign it, and that the US should also sign it. So it's one to hand out to show when you're out there, any demonstration to do with nuclear weapons, it can be used. But in particular, the 22nd is a Thursday, okay? And so
So
here,
Cheryl, are you saying this file is for the 6-foot wide by 2 feet tall banner? That's
yes,
what this is for?
yes,
Okay, and that's why it's or origination size has to be so hefty, because
yes,
it's going to be really huge. So
yes.
this is not text for a, say, quarter sheet handout when you're at a demonstration.
Right. There is a version of it that's in kilobytes, but it has a lot of words on it. So I'm encouraging people to get banners made. I don't know how many, we've had banners over the years that we've developed.
Yep.
We've got branches to make banners. We've made you individual banners. So this is just a new one, updated from a few years ago. So, and then if you go to the ICANN website there, they are giving you some further ideas.
Do you
How-
need to order? Do you need to order several at a time, or are you happy with ordering individual or double, spreading it out?
Each branch needs to order just one.
And how
Okay.
much does it cost?
Well, it
You-
depends
the
on
one-
who your printer is, Odile.
Yes, the about $60 or so.
Thank you.
Okay.
There's our branch in Palo Alto. We have a banner making company. They're not even in Palo Alto. They're somewhere else, but they'll make it and then ship it to you.
Yeah.
Because when it's rolled up, it's not that big, you know. You roll them up and then you unroll them to show them at demonstrations. So
I'm confused again. I don't see any link to this file in your agenda.
no, I've not, because I'm not going to send a I'm not going to put a 10 megabyte attachment to a disarm listserv. Okay.
Put it up in Dropbox. They can handle that.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm just, you know, I have it. People can write to me if they think their branch would like to
Okay.
make a banner. All right.
Okay, it's 8:30.
Right. So, but the other thing that is really important is this New START treaty that we've been telling you is going to run out on the 5th of February. This is the treaty that limits how many nuclear weapons the US and Russia are allowed to have deployed, ready to fire off. Okay, it's just between the US and Russia. Doesn't involve anybody else. And Russia has offered weeks ago, Putin offered to extend the New START for 12 months because they've not been discussing it, because they've all been upset about Ukraine. Okay. So our White House, to our public knowledge, has done nothing to reply to his offer. Okay. And if it fails on the 6th of February, then both countries can bring out of their stockpiles even more nuclear weapons and bombs and things and have them available. So that's why if you go to, there's two cool toolkits that are linked in the agenda. All right. They give you all and then there's talking points. So what we're trying to do is to get the attention of the White House, because it's the White House that has to respond to this offer. But you also, if you talk to your Congress people, they will, you know, hopefully if they're Republican, hopefully they can have some influence. But, you know, Trump is so busy, you know, attacking other countries and threatening Greenland and what have you, that it seems like he's forgotten about this New START treaty. All right. And we can't let it lapse.
Well, this is the most important thing that we could of the year, as far as I'm concerned. There's nothing more important than this. And it doesn't, it's sending pleas to the White House is people will be, we should be laughing at each other. I mean, it's.
Well, is there a
we need to
concrete
get this out that they're not
executive-
enough peace organizations working on.
There's lots of us. There's a
Well,
collaborative that reverse the arms race collaborative. There are 200 organizations who
I'm
are
sorry.
working on
Well,
this.
I was wrong about that. We need to, what can we do to promote it? We don't have to try point it towards Donald J. Trump. Can't we just, should it be news media effort?
Yes,
Should it be
yes.
local? And
If you
it's our
go-
legislators, our Congress people and
Yes,
legislators.
all
So-
of those
so
people.
If
If
they
you-
have, if you the groups could send us something that we could include.
Yes, and it's there
Project
in those
will-
links, Ellen. If you go to the agenda and you click on these links, especially the
Okay, I
talking
don't know.
points, the
All right.
talking points, that is, you see when it's slightly blue in the agenda, that means it's a hyperlink. You click on that and you will get to a whole bunch of talking points for contacting Congress. And these have
Okay.
been available and they've been updated.
All right. I don't know.
And we've been asked by this Reverse the Arms Race Collaborative to have a concerted effort to get somebody's attention. Because they are, there's, anyway, for all we know, there are some back channels happening, but it's nothing publicly has been said by the Trump administration. They're the ones that has to reply to the offer to Putin, from Putin, okay? So that to me is
It's not going
because,
to happen.
yeah, we have to, this is because it's February the 5th, which is not very far from now. This is what I need. If you do nothing else, this is what I need you to do, is to go look at those talking points, go to those 3 different hyperlinked things in the agenda and find words, templates, ideas. And you can also write letters to your editor and point this out, okay?
Cheryl, do you have any idea of why he's posturing and ignoring it?
No, it's because he's
Should he?
decided Venezuela and Greenland are more important.
my
I
God.
honestly don't know, Barbara.
God.
It is a mystery. The people in the Arms Control Association who really in touch with the State Department, they are frustrated as hell with this. Okay.
Oh, he doesn't do things like that anymore. Sign any kind of peace treaty. Are you kidding? I would think that maybe this is a suggestion that we for e-news that we put in a WILF statement about it's trying to just similar and follow
If you read
disarm statement to say WILF that we should get behind Putin's initiative, talk about breaking barriers. To say something like that is heresy, but we should say it anyway. Say,
well,
let's
if you
get
read
behind Putin's initiative to say we need to sign it. We don't have any on the books. There's nothing there that prevents tomorrow
if
the
you
end of
read
the world.
if you read the e-news articles, most of the e-news articles I have written the past several months have reminded you about this New Start business and asked people to do something, to write something. So the next deadline is the 23rd of January. And Disarm always has an article in the e-news. And believe me, there will be again a request for our members to be writing to their Congress people, using this templates that have been provided with all the arguments about why it's important. And hopefully that will come out around the 1st or 2nd of February. And therefore they'll have 3 days, and I will also send an e-alert and things like that. Okay.
Okay. Well, can you connect it to our disarm statement that's on there now? That this is connected to our efforts to bring détente. This is the one where we remind people the different treaties that have been broken in the Eisenhower effort and the Glasnost,
Well, it can be,
the
yes.
Gorbachev
I think that's a good idea to have this statement be a continuation of our advice to the president on détente. And now just to extend the context, that this is a area where easy cooperation could be established. Is a larger context or something we should be.
Yeah, we took the whole,
to continue our conversation with the president.
And that was a long conversation, Alan, very long, with the way all of you participated for months on that thing.
So, well, the last statement was not directed to the president the same as the first one. It was a general statement. But you can say, when you write to your Congress people, you're welcome to put any spin on it you like. Okay. I'm just giving you in the agenda there. And I've given you in emails and what have you months now. This is a year-long thing. We've known this was going to finish. Okay. So please go back and look at what you've been sent. Use that if you feel you need somebody else's words to help you. The arguments are there, and
They
you
are
know.
in ours too. We've made a statement. This organization, this committee has made a statement, and it's in Disarm. It's in the détente statement that
Well,
we.
that's a deterrent statement. Deterrent does not mention the New START treaty. Okay.
No, but it implies that that's how we do it. That we need both. Both. Well, anyway, we need both sides to be involved in this security issue.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think that's I don't want to say any more on that. I'm sure I'm over time
Yeah,
on that.
it's almost 8:45, so if we're
Yeah.
gonna stop at 9:30, we need to move on.
Okay.
Okay, so the next item is report on actions within our various coalitions. I don't know that, go ahead if anybody has anything to
Well,
say.
I made a request that this issue of the founding mothers movement be put off further. I've not had time since I got back from France to remind myself what arguments had been made and so on and so forth. So I'd like just not to talk about it at all today and put it off till the 25th of January. Okay.
Can we get some preliminary background for people who are going to attend when it is discussed?
You
So
you will see lots of emails already flying around about this, Ellen. I have not had time to address some of them. Okay. And so please go back and look at, this has been an issue for probably nearly a year now. Okay. So
Right, has been.
Gloria, is this is your Gloria has done most of the research on this. So
yeah.
Well,
And I
I'm
did
happy to
some,
go with that, but I have something in the communications I'm going to present. But it's
But-
not about FF or FMM or whatever it's
Right,
called.
right.
It's about something related.
I'll
All
just
right.
I'll just say real quick that the Congress coming up in the first Saturday in February, they're having Rivera's son and Chief Phil Lane speaking as guest speakers. Okay.
What about the Guan that's coming up?
The what?
Guan meeting, no to NATO, feminists
Oh, I
against
think that's
NATO.
a bit further down, isn't it?
And when
That's
is
further
that?
down.
Ellen, you
Yeah.
sent me something about it. Ellen Mass?
yeah, I just I'll put it in the chat. The go on is
But-
having
Yes, it's in the agenda further down, please.
Okay.
okay. All right.
Okay. So the next item is interacting with the media. Gloria, you're on.
Here we go. All right. Since at least last July, I have been studying computer war games and their effects because they are communicators of powerful pro-war messages. And they also restructure the brains of habitual users. So I'm going to speak on part one. I'm just going to allude to it. Now, as Cheryl is always saying to you, you should have read my post that I put out early today. I think it was at 7:30 a.m., which was combined, part 1, 2, and 3, about the effects of computer war games on people that play them habitually. I also had the number of hours habitually used in one of these war games, and some people use it over 60 hours a week. And so what I'm going to speak to is part 1. That is how these computer war games alter the reward system, dopamine dysfunction and redirection. And I'm only just telling you the headlines. You need to read part 1 of my post that I sent out at 7:30 a.m. this morning. And it's very important because these games are used by the military to train soldiers. Ex-soldiers are involved with some of these games. Ex-special ops people are programming these games. And there could be nothing more antithetical to James Adams' views in Newer Ideals of Peace than she said that until boys were weaned of these violent impulses, that she would see them on the streets playing these terrible, violent games. And this is just today's iteration. It's very much connected to the military. It's very much connected to Ukraine. So I hope you will look at my post that I sent out at 7:40. Okay, well, I promised I wouldn't go into any more about anything that's connected with anything closer to what we're not discussing. However, then I will switch now into what I'm much happier to talk about is the Jane Addams talk that I will be presenting on hyperlocal news agencies. Because as people, including Cheryl, I think brought up, all this ICE activity is very parallel and we're funding it, militarizing our cities. So the only way that we can resist is to have a hyperlocal style of a news agency. And there are two, one in Chicago, it's more advanced, one that's starting up in LA called the LA Public Press. These are not like your traditional news media. They are a few news people who've left the media because it's so corrupt or corporate, and they set these up as nonprofits. They're organized block by block in these cities, and they can get news out all day long, every day, because they have thousands of citizen reporters. And the Chicago one that's called Chicago Block News, you can click on a neighborhood and you can see all kinds of news stories. So when all this was going on in Chicago, they were giving minute by minute, very close to the scene in various neighborhoods, able to pick up. So people weren't just disappearing where nobody was seeing it. They had whistles, they were making alarms, honking their horns. And this is the kind of thing you're going to need. So that's what my talk will be about. I have the full cooperation, and they were very enthused that I'm doing this. Chicago Block Club News said they had permission to use any of their photos or anything. So I think that's the rest of my report.
So just let's get this straight. This is on January the 21st.
Correct.
And it is a what we call the Jane Addams branch meeting.
6 p.m. my time.
And it's 6 p.m. if you were in Arizona.
Right.
And Diane, would you remind us, because this is your meeting, Diane?
Right. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific time. And when is the e-alert coming out, Gloria?
On the 21st of January, I believe.
No, the e-alert about it.
So I thought you're handling the publicity. Who handles it?
I asked you, Gloria. Oh my gosh, I thought you would do it.
Well, I previously I gave another talk and I didn't have to do the publicity.
I know. I was hoping you would take this on from me, and I was very.
Oh, okay. Well, what's involved? Just sending a branches message? I mean, we still have more than a week. So
I wrote you that I always got the information.
Can I speak? Can I speak? Please let me speak. I will be happy to do it tonight, but I just need to know what you want me to do. Send it to the branches or what?
Whatever. No, an e-alert has to be sent to Shilpa, and Shilpa arranges printing of it. I told you I used to always send it to Darian the first of the month so that it went out the week before the meeting and the day before.
Okay, but I didn't do it the last time, and this was all news to me as of a couple days ago. So I didn't know what the timing was. I didn't know the due dates, and if I'm late, I'm apologizing right now.
Okay, so is that it for media?
No, I still need that repeated because I am the secretary as well. So I am to send this to whom and when?
Shilpa ASAP.
Okay.
Okay.
And you want all the data in it with the link and everything?
Yes.
Right.
Well, there was some trouble locating the link. When I contacted Diane, she couldn't find the link. So
I sent it to you, Gloria.
I know at first you had trouble, but I don't know which link is better. The one that's on
exactly where it was, and then you made me
after
look
about 2 or 3 emails. Yeah, we finally got that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're done with media, and so now we're promote peace via treaties. See Agenda 5.
Right,
I don't know.
If you saw Eileen's earlier, just to say, I didn't have her on the agenda, but Eileen was having trouble with her Wi-Fi, and she said she would try to come by phone, but she has not come by phone. So that's why we're not got anything to say on lethal autonomous weapons. And then
So I know, I read that Nancy was trying to get on for an hour or two or
Well,
something.
she was early. I don't know where she is, but she was totally confused as what the time of day was. She wrote
Yes,
to me. She wrote to me at 2 o'clock. She
she
said,
wrote to all of us.
I know. And so, and I wrote back and said, well, it hasn't started yet. Please try again. But she isn't here.
No.
I-
Okay. So then Middle East, I think, Odile, you've probably already covered it.
Yes, we did.
Okay. And then Guan is here, Global Women for Peace, United Against NATO.
Right.
And
Except that we should maybe say something about Iran. But anyway,
Well, first of all, we have delayed this vote on this manifesto. Okay. You all didn't, I sent it to you rather late before the 14th of December, but you've now had it for over a month. I resent it you. We are to vote on this, whether our disarm committee agrees to endorse this manifesto. Okay. Now, Eileen said she couldn't find it. You won't find an attachment if you're looking at somebody else's reply. I would hope you all understood this by now. You have to go back to the original email where I sent the attachment. Don't try to look at, oh, so-and-so replied to it, because it won't be there. So why Eileen couldn't find it, I don't know. Okay. But you've all had it now for a month, and it's a international, it's a statement they first made on November the 18th, 2025. Manifesto against global NATO and an appeal for common security.
Who
And
is they? I'm sorry.
Guan.
Guan started this manifesto. They've been asking other organizations to endorse it. Okay.
So are
And
we going to take it to the board to ask for the board to endorse it on behalf of the section?
first of all, I want disarm committee to vote on it.
Okay.
All right. And so the rule is if you're here, you get to vote on it. And if you're not here, then you don't get to vote on it. So it's, talks about closing bases and things like that. It talks about, we need to be fighting against global warming, and dissolving NATO is an important step in the pursuit of peaceful international relations. So it's all there. Yes, Peggy.
I'll speak later. I want to speak to it before we vote.
Okay.
I'm a
So
little confused. Is Guam part of NATO?
now,
Oh,
just
we're
the Global Women United Against NATO is the
That's the acronym. Sorry, I didn't catch how it was set up.
yeah. And so they have asked us to of asking organizations to endorse this manifesto. Many organizations have already. If you look at it, you'll see people like Code Pink and World Beyond War have all endorsed it. Okay, so now the first step usually is for an issue committee,
Right.
to do something, and then we can endorse it just as a disarm committee, and then we could also send it to the board and see if they would endorse it. So we can endorse things as a issue committee, and then we can ask the board to do it as a whole. Right now, I'm just asking you all if we can vote to agree to this manifesto. And
Before
Peggy,
you vote, I need the title again. I know it's here and it's there and it's everywhere, but just say the title of the
a
manifesto.
manifesto against global NATO and appeal for common security.
Okay.
So it's saying the concept of common security essentially should be replacing the concept of NATO. So Peggy, you have something to say?
Well, yeah. I would like to say that I personally support the manifesto personally, but I will abstain from this from this vote, and I want to be sure that others are aware. The reason I'm abstaining is that I spent most of my life pushing from the left, challenging people who were members of the establishment in the middle, and challenging them to push further on positions like abolishing NATO. However, I joined WILPF when I turned 85, having decided that it was time for me to quit pushing from the left and to show respect for those who had retained the position of being able to work with people who were on the other side. And I think it's important to be aware that to go on the record as officially, as an organization opposed to the survival of NATO makes it probably pretty difficult to function, to act as a go-between or get any kind of dialectic going that involves negotiation, diplomacy with people who still support NATO. So I wanted to go on record as saying that, and I'll respect what the group does.
Somebody else had their hand up, but then it went away.
I would like to add that, given that this is a U.S. Group, we should note that there are many reasons to oppose NATO, and we would support the legislation interested in the Congress from Thomas Weiser that the U.S. should withdraw from NATO.
To actually what to NATO, Alan?
Withdraw. The U.S. should stop having a relationship with NATO.
Withdraw.
Withdraw.
Mm-hmm. Well,
there's a requirement in NATO that if you're going to dissociate, you have to give them a year notice. And so he put in legislation that the Congress should move forward with that. And while his view is it costs too much money, there are a lot of reasons to get out of NATO, and that's a good enough one for those who want to see it in those terms. I just thought we should be aware that that legislation is now in the Congress.
is that, I'm sorry, I can't remember. Is that the Massey?
Yeah, Nancy.
That's the Massey resolution that I have pointed you all towards.
Yeah.
He is, he's suggesting it from a different point of view than I think Wolf would take.
Well, but it's an interest.
But the point is still to pull out of, for us to pull out of NATO as a country, right?
Yeah.
This particular manifesto is that NATO should cease to exist and be replaced by a different system. Okay, it's not just it's actually not calling for the US to withdraw from NATO. It's calling for the abolishment of NATO.
NATO itself, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And that so the Massey resolution, which I point you to there, the Massey HR 6500 6508, if somebody would go look at it, you will see what it says. And I don't remember what it says anymore because it's a month since I spoke about this last. So it's, it's, the manifesto is very good. It says we must reinvest in trust building to open the way for peaceful international relations and cooperation. This fits in with what we were saying in our statement about Ukraine and Russia. There's a lot of trust building that needs to be done. So people trust each other that they're going to do what they say and not attack in the middle of the night and things like that. So anyway, I think it's a fine manifesto, and so can Diane, can you call a vote on this, and we'll have to do it by hand raising.
Oh, I thought we were putting it off till next time, but it's good.
No, we put it off already. We put it off from the 14th of December to today.
That's good because Guan's meeting Saturday, so it
We
would be
need
good.
to,
if we
I
had it
wanted
on-
us, I felt that you've all had a month to look at it. And I sent it again with the agenda as a reminder, but you've actually had the manifesto now for over a month.
Yeah, I couldn't find it on the Guan website, however. I've been looking for it, but
Yeah, I don't know why it's not there, but
there, but
this
I
is
did read what you sent. So hopefully everyone's, so we're going to take a vote. But first, Ellen wants to say something. Ellen?
I completely supported 100%. I was very active in the beginning of Guan. And they have, and when we did the 75th in DC, Diane, you were there, Cheryl, you were there. It was amazing. We all support No to NATO, where we had, I guess, several thousand people in and out of that 2-day conference when we all went to DC. And the people in Europe, the ones who do mostly those in they've been to all the major conferences and summits to stand up bravely for NATO. Everybody knows that NATO is responsible for a lot of the Cold War and what we're getting now with the surrounding of the NATO countries around Russia, and why we're in such an extremely dangerous situation in the world today. And NATO is one of the, I mean, I don't know too many people that stand up for NATO. I don't know.
I do, but
Ellen, could I have you put the link into that next meeting of Guan, because I'm having trouble finding it.
Yeah, I sent it out, but I'm going to have to send it to all of Disarm when I finish with this meeting, because I've been looking for it during the meeting and I can't find
Okay,
it.
well,
They're
I
having
really
a
need
big
it.
event with women from 5 different European countries that are going to be speaking at a meeting coming up that we should all attend, and I'll send that
And that's
out.
on Saturday?
No, that's not
No.
Saturday.
Saturday's just a normal meeting at 3:00 Eastern time.
Okay, so maybe
Guan, you're talking about Guan.
I
yes.
say Guan, Global Women
Oh,
United for
Guan.
Peace Against NATO.
Guan, okay, Guan, like guano. So, that's a bad
Diane,
pun,
maybe
but
you
remember
would
it.
put if you have that, you don't have that meeting, then okay. So I'll send
I don't think
out-
I have it on my calendar, but I would go, but I don't have it.
All
So
right, I'll
we
make
need to
sure.
know that one. If those are 2 separate meetings you're describing, we need both of those links.
Okay, yeah.
So are we calling for the question now, just
Yes.
by numbers?
Yes. Okay.
Right. So all in favor?
So you need to raise your virtual hand, or if you can do under your React, you can raise your hand if you agree that we should endorse this. So, and somebody needs to count. Odile, you are not voting.
First of all, I wanted to know if Gloria or Barbara.
I can't see well enough to make a hand go up, but I have it up.
Okay, good. And Gloria, do you have your hand up or not? I would think Gloria would, since she's comes to a lot of Guam meetings.
She's muted right now.
So
Gloria, are you there?
and so we've already heard Peggy is
Abstaining and everyone else is in favor, I believe.
I see Philip Cole has not. Philip, are you voting for or against this?
Voting for it.
All right, okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And what happened to Gloria? Did we lose her?
Yep, we lost her, but
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I'm here. I just.
Are you voting for it?
I'm saying that in rhetoric, you always want to keep the dialogue going. And after Peggy said that, all my heart goes with saying get rid of NATO, but I'll have to abstain, even though I want to vote for it. I really do.
Okay.
We've got weird. Okay.
Okay. So 4.
So there are
Oh,
10 people here right now, and as
Yeah,
far as I
well-
can tell, we have 8 for and 2 abstains.
That's right. I
Okay,
agree with that.
And I knew it would pass, so I could get my abstain and it wouldn't hurt anything.
Well,
been there, done that, understand.
Principles, people, principles. Come on now. Okay.
so
I do have principles and they are to keep the discussions
so I
going.
will.
I
So
listened to what Peggy said, and she said that this could disallow some people having any negotiating will to even talk to us.
If we take that approach, we should dissolve ourselves immediately.
Well,
Really,
I don't think so. I don't think you can make a broad generalization like that. It
You
did
have
affect
to.
me, what she
A lot
said.
of people will
No,
disagree.
no. I think this is a certainly, if you're saying something shouldn't exist, then they won't
it's
want to
to
talk
be
to you about
replaced
anything else.
by something better. Okay.
Well,
Point is
you
that
know,
it was made
you
originally.
rushed the vote before I could really think it through, but I'm in rhetoric, and so I had to go with my training, and that's keep the discussions going.
Right. Well,
So-
anyway,
so meanwhile, summarizing, we're 8 in favor, 2 abstain.
right.
True.
So as far as I'm
Thank you,
concerned,
everybody.
we have passed, and I will take it upon myself to find that link where we can do the endorsing. Okay.
I'm
Thank you,
glad it
Sharon.
passed, and I want to say I'm glad it passed, even though I had to abstain.
And
Hopefully,
you know, when we talk about partnering with groups, I don't know what it would take to partner with them, but I think it's worth consideration. They are a real sister group, and they're not, well, they're not centrally organized. I don't even know if they're consider themselves a committee. Global Women United
Yes.
Against.
yeah.
Maybe Diane could tell us that. What do you think, Diane? What is the composition of this group?
Well, I think that they're happy with where they are, the people that come and what they do. They haven't asked for any.
No, they haven't asked, but yeah.
No.
Oh, but we might, if they have, I don't think they do sponsor partners. I don't think they have partners.
No, because they have a lot of they have WILF people from various countries in Europe that are
Right,
saying.
and I think they like to be Euro-centered and not dominated by the US, so they,
Well, it would be kind of like like we're voting for talking about this other group that's controversial, but
mhm.
no to NATO women are our type of women. They are disarm women. They're anti-nuclear and they're strong.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They are definitely. I agree with them on everything that they're doing.
Okay. I'm just going to look up Massey's. Nobody else has looked up this Massey thing. Let me bring it up on my own computer. HR 6508.
While you're doing that, I'll note that it's almost 9 minutes after the hour.
Thank you. We're really close to finishing, actually.
I think so. The next item is advocate for end to war in Ukraine, and I think we're all have discussed that pretty much as much.
Well,
Haven't we voted on it like a half a dozen times?
so the bill that can I come back? I've now got Representative Massey's bill up. Introduces bill to remove the United States from NATO. Okay, which is different from abolishing NATO.
Right.
And, as he said, NATO was created to counter the Soviet Union, and through what it was called the Warsaw Pact, all the states of the USSR agreed to fight together, and then NATO was set up against that. They disappeared 30 years ago. And so here is what he says if you go to the agenda and link this. So we can be mute on this because it's different from abolishing NATO. It's just removing the US from it. Some of you might say it's the same thing.
No, I think it's different.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's different.
Right.
But it's still good. It's in the right direction, perhaps.
Yeah.
All right. So
like this is good under Trump. It's anything to talk about peace is miraculous, if any.
It's good.
Exactly.
Right.
But that's not what was on the agenda, right? That's a slightly separate topic.
It's,
Looking at it
so
from a
I asked the
different thing.
question, shall we support the Massey bill? Shall we support HR 6508? To support it means you write to your congressperson and ask them to co-sponsor this.
Right.
This was a press release. I've not actually gone. The text is available at this link. Mike Lee has introduced S2174 in the Senate. Okay, so
What's the number?
all right, so his bill hadn't, when he first said this, had not yet been given a number. Oh no, it has. It's 6508. And then the Senate, it's 2174. So, but he's also, I mean, this is not a gentleman that normally we would be happy with. He has, a pro-life, no funds for foreign abortions act.
Mhm.
And
maybe we could leave it as it is now and would not vote on this, think about it, and at the next meeting, if it still is sitting there and
Yeah,
we think we
right.
want to do it.
I mean, it's very interesting that he and Ro Khanna, who is our local, very progressive Democratic congressperson, they introduced a bipartisan war powers resolution to prohibit involvement in Iran back in June.
Yeah.
So, so he's got some ideas in line with us and some not. Okay, so yes, we don't have to decide right now. We've decided on the manifesto, which was my main purpose of putting it in the agenda. Thank you, everybody. But I would like to mention that Pam Richards did send us all an email about ANA, which would have been item 9IX in the agenda, that they are coming up to a full meeting, and she'll be telling us more about it, okay, by email. This divesting business, which is number 10 in the agenda, as I said before, WILPF International has this new campaign, and we should be trying to support them. And with Trump saying that he wants to have 1.5 trillion as a military budget, even more so, we need to ask institutions and individuals to divest from these war manufacturing weapons companies. Okay, so this is something you should be doing in the background, using.
Isn't that already in the agenda, or do I need to put that down in the notes?
No, it's in the agenda.
Okay.
I'm just pointing out that it's even more important that it already is, because of Trump's statement that he wants an even larger military budget.
Jesus.
1 trillion, which it was like approaching $1 trillion. That's for 1 year, $1 trillion. Now he says, because what's going to happen is he issues, usually in February, his budget. The president issues his suggested budget for all the agencies that are not, it's called, oh God, there's a word. Anyway, it's the one, it's not Social Security and things that have laws about them, but it's all the other agencies and the military. He comes up, the president, this happens every year, produces a suggested budget, and then the Congress has to respond to it. And we are a member of the coalition called People Over the Pentagon, which every year we attempt to beat down how much money is in that budget. Okay, we approach people in Congress, we ask them to put amendments. you remember the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, is part of this process.
Right.
And so people over the Pentagon, we are part of that. And again, I will be suggesting to you what to say to your Congress people, because they vote on this. And, you know, as long as he has a majority in the House, he will get his 1.5 trillion, you know, which brings you to the midterms. And what you all, you know, you could well abandon whatever Wolf is doing and concentrate your free time on getting more Democrats elected into the Congress, because to take away his majority, the Republican majority in the House, is our best defense against what's happening, is to take away that majority of the Republicans in the House. And if we could do it in the Senate, even better. Okay, I'm sure you all understand this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
Cheryl, may I say something?
And
I
me
think you
too.
stop with this because you're a nonprofit and
Right, I'm not suggesting any particular candidate.
Okay, okay.
No, well, you need also
generalities.
you need also to be careful about party,
Yeah.
because we could be nailed.
Right, well, I'm talking in generalities here. I'm not endorsing any particular candidate. I'm saying we're allowed to talk in generalities, and
But
it's
not about specific parties either.
I think you can see we're allowed, and it's also a question of how
I'm going
much
to not
money.
put that, I'm not putting this in the minutes.
Okay.
Yes,
That's how
good.
much I put
That's
in.
good. It's no decision. Yeah, that's good. Don't put in the minutes.
Okay.
I mean, you could point out members of the House who support the sitting president. That's accurate.
Well, you know,
And
I
it's
think
not naming names.
the whole idea to, how about this? You said that we could devote more time to working to bring better candidates. How about that? Better candidates into office.
That sounds great.
You could say that if you want. It's also a question of how much money your organization spends on such things, and we spend no money at all. No money at all is spent by WILPF US on endorsing any candidates.
As it should be. That's correct.
Right. So
We've been very
that's
good
what the
about that.
IRS would look at if it was decided that we somehow or other had broken some rule or law. Okay.
Yeah, those are some of the things that they would look at. Those are not the only things that they would look at, but certainly some.
Right.
Okay. So I think we're ready to go on, and I think that we're at
Support projects.
Yeah, and we don't have Ellen left. I hope she's okay. And Disarm page, we're always ready for suggestions.
Right. So we asked last time for people to look over. We've been asked to update our issue committee web pages. So Diane, Ellen, and I are looking at it, and we will be making some suggestions to our IT help, okay, about things that need to be changed and updated. But we have given you now all the opportunity for you to tell us what you don't like or what you think should be updated on our webpage. And hearing no suggestions from anybody else, then I'm going to suggest that Ellen, Diane, and I, as co-chairs, will make those decisions. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the website for a while, mostly because every time I did, I couldn't get to where I wanted to because the website was awful. But there had been periodically suggestions that we consider having part of our website to be set up along the lines of the concept of the My WILPF page, and the My WILPF entry to International WILPF, which is anybody can go to wilf.org and look at anything, but the upper right-hand corner where it says My WILPF, you have to be vetted as a WILPF member by your local section, and then you can go and log into My WILPF and see members-only stuff. I've thought for years that our US section would benefit from something like that, which is not all that difficult to happen. So that, for instance, if somebody needed to try to find a chair of a committee, they could get their contact information by looking it up. Once they had signed in as a WILF member, they'd be entitled to see that information. Has our committee ever talked about that kind of thing? And what do we think about it?
We're just talking about the content on our own webpage, which is within a page within the the US.
Right. It's in the US.
Right.
Yeah, we have no firewall in the US section.
No, we have no
right now.
firewall. Anybody can go see it. It's been suggested that's a good idea because we want the public to see some of our resources and our ideas.
Oh, sure.
And it has been suggested with the updated website that sooner or later, maybe individuals will be able to change some of their websites without having to wait for an IT person to do it for us. I think that's probably quite a difficult thing to do. To have us individually change things. Okay. There is a committee, an IT committee.
Right.
There's a website committee, there's a communications committee, there's several different committees that, Barbara, you could bring this up to.
Well, I was thinking about it as I was listening to you talk, so certainly I can bring it up elsewhere. I just didn't know if our committee had been talking about it within itself. So you're telling me no, and thank you very much. That's reasonable. There's a lot of things that needs to be done.
Do we have we have to tell you what suggestion we have right now tonight? Because you said the three of you are meeting the issues committee.
Anytime. I think suggestions are welcome anytime. As soon as, when you can get to them. Yeah,
But
be good.
we were asked to do this quite soon. We've already put it off. But issue committees were asked to update their web pages.
Yeah, we've been asked numerous times.
Right. And so
over the years.
We did it once about 2 years ago. It's now, some of that stuff is 2 years old.
Okay, so it'd be in the next day or two. Okay.
Yeah, so the next day or two.
I don't have it right now, but there is something I want to suggest.
Okay. So there are some resources there, Call for Peace resource guides that I wrote and other people wrote 2 or 3 years ago. I've asked if people would be willing to help update some of those. But nobody's offered to help. And so it's way down on my to-do list.
Well, I could help update the one that I worked on.
Oh dear, which one's that?
I don't know, it was 2, I think one on the Middle East and one on divesting from nuclear weapon.
Okay, well, you need to go look at our webpage.
I know, I was looking at it right now, but it didn't show very much. I don't know. Maybe I couldn't get in.
Well, some of them we removed because they were too out of date. Okay.
Oh.
So there used to be like 10, and now I think we have 6. But we've renumbered some of them, but the titles of them tell you what's in there.
I don't know. I just see mission.
No, scroll down to resources, keep scrolling down to Call for Peace resource guides. Please scroll down. There's a lot of stuff there. You just have to keep scrolling.
Okay.
Okay.
Carol, do we have contact information for like Western States Legal Foundation and also for Tri-Valley Cares?
They are listed as our sister organizations. They should all be hyperlinked to their websites.
Okay, good. I hadn't
at least 22 organizations there, I would say. that we work with, and everyone that's listed, we have their hyperlink to their homepage.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, on other activities, you have a lot of link to a lot of organization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, it's quite a lot there. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I
Diane,
will.
So
I will.
where,
I will volunteer to look at it.
as the
Diane,
timekeeper,
do
I
we
want to
have
point
Dawn
out,
on there?
we have 4 more minutes.
Right. Okay. If we're
And
trying,
I think
But-
we're good because the next item is set the date and it's going to be the last Sunday of the month as usual. And then the other item is said any other business, but hopefully I think we've covered everything. But if not, tell us.
now's the moment to speak up if you have a WILF topic that was not covered, or something you would like to say you've done.
The the chat now has the Venezuela link that you were asking for, Cheryl, and that I was saying was so good. The statement of WILF for you, Peggy, as well. It's on the chat. You just have to scroll back.
Back, okay, because you sure you sent it?
I don't see it.
Yes, here we are. MailChimp. Reaching critical will. Is that the one you're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's the one on Venezuela that was so good.
What about the date? I mean, the link to the Guan meeting.
Yeah, I'm going to send that out
Oh,
separately.
that's going to be separately. Okay,
By an
okay.
email to disarm list
I will
discussion.
need it for my minutes.
Right. So, okay, well, I think, thank you, everybody. I hope that,
Well, and we all wish Cheryl a
Yeah, Cheryl.
very happy and successful tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yes.
girl. We know you're going to do fine.